Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a review and first impression of the new Maybelline Dream Velvet Foundation. Now Maybelline did send these to me as part of their spring 2016 releases, and I was itching to try it out simply because of the description. They describe it as a soft matte hydrating foundation. Now if you have dry skin, I know you've probably skipped matte foundations in the past and you just ignore them completely, but I'm oily skin and I love matte foundations, but the only thing I do not like is how dry and flat it can leave my face looking. So when I saw that this had a hydrating element to it, I was very interested. Now this does come in 12 shades, and there are two which are dedicated to deeper skin tone. There's caramel, and then there's this one which is coconut. I am slightly disappointed that there aren't more deeper shades available, but I feel like this is somewhat standard now with drugstore foundations. So I feel like I've gotten used to it, and I'm sort of on that lucky end where I do fit the deepest shade. Now, since this is going to be a first impression, I'm just going to use it as I would normally any foundation. I'm not using a primer, however, because I believe foundations should be able to work pretty well without a primer. I only really use primers if I'm going to be going out, or if I know I'm going to be away all day, like if I'm going to be at work or something, but I'm just going to be chilling at home, so there's no need for a primer to test this out. I am going to be using my very dirty Real Techniques kabuki brush. It's not that dirty, I've just been using foundation with it, so yeah, it's what I use standard. I don't really use a beauty blender for my foundations. I more so use that for my concealers and to set my my face. And if I sound like a man, I'm sorry, I have a cold. Winter will do that to you. The first thing I notice is that this has like a mousse-like consistency. It doesn't run or anything like that on my face, so it's pretty okay. They describe it as a gel-like foundation, but it's less gel, more mousse in my opinion. So I'm just going to blend that out. And it blends pretty beautifully so far. So this is the foundation with just one application, and I will say it's more of a medium to full coverage foundation. I can leave the house like this if I wanted to. It does look very nice on my skin so far, and it doesn't feel like as if I'm wearing a heavy layer of foundation, which is really great. So so far I'm liking the way this applies on my skin. I don't need to go with a second layer of foundation, but I do have some dark spots on the forehead area and then just along the jawline. And I also want to see how this foundation builds, because I do sometimes like to go for a super full coverage foundation look, only when I really want like that bam, like flawless face. And I just like full coverage foundation, but if I wanted to, I can leave the house like this. So I'm going to go in with a second layer just to see how this foundation builds. So this is my face after a second layer. Now it doesn't feel caked up or heavy, which I really like. There are some foundations, even when they are medium to full coverage, when you do apply that second layer, it just gets very thick, and I don't feel like I look caked up. Ooh, excuse me. I don't feel like I look caked up, and it doesn't feel like heavy or anything like that on my skin. So far I'm really liking this foundation. I will say since it isn't like full coverage off the bat, it would probably be more of like an everyday foundation, like if I'm going to work or just hanging out, not really nighttime, but we'll see how it holds up. Maybelline doesn't make any claims of, 12-hour wear or anything like that, so I'm just gonna assume it's more of like one of those 6 to 8 hour wear type of foundation. So I'm going to actually apply concealer and the rest of my makeup and then check back in with you all. If you read my blog or you've been following me for a little bit, you'll know that I'm obsessed with the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. So when I received this one in the mail, I was kind of curious because I haven't found a drugstore one that really floats my boat. So we'll see. This one is white. The Laura Mercier is more kind of like an off-white color. So I'm just going to use that to set underneath my eyes just to make sure that the concealer lasts, or see how long that concealer will last. Now, the problem that I've had with setting powders in the past when they're pure white like this is that they leave a like grayish cast sometimes, or just a straight up whitish cast on my dark skin tone. So I'm hoping that this doesn't do that. I'll take a few pictures and insert them either here in the video or on my blog just to see if there is any flashback. And I'm just gonna let this sit for a little bit. I hate the term bake, but I guess that's what we're actually doing. But in my mind, I'm just letting it set while I do the rest of my makeup, which is very low-key. I'm just gonna set the rest of my face with setting powder, my CoverGirl powder that I normally use, and then maybe put some blush in, but I don't want to put too much because I really want to see how the foundation itself wears and not cover it up with bronzer and all sorts of things. I look like an idiot in this. And then just to finish it off, I am going to set the face with the Maybelline Master Fix setting spray. Now this one looks like an exact replica of the L'Oreal Infallible one, and after spraying them, they both have the same mist. Just about everything is similar down to the packaging, which is so hysterical. So this is the final face. I didn't put the lips because I'm actually going to go right into filming swatches of the Maybelline Vivid Matte Lip colors, so I didn't want to put anything and then have to have the hassle of taking them off. So I'll be sure to link that video down in the description box when it is live. That way you guys can also check that out, since I do have opinions on those. But I will be checking in periodically to check in with you guys on how this foundation looks. But so far so good. I think it looks amazing. The under eye area does look pretty brightened, and it feels like tight, and like my concealer's not going anywhere. So definitely, so far so good. I'm really impressed with this, and I'm just curious to see how it holds up throughout the day. So see you soon. So I completely failed and did not check in throughout the day. I've been blogging and editing videos and just been really busy, and so it just slips my mind, so I'm sorry. But it is now 9:43. When I did the video it was around 2:30, so I've been wearing this foundation now for a full 7 hours. And this is what my skin looks like. Now I do have a ring light and 2 lights behind it, so it is coming off as a lot shinier because of all of the lights that I have on me. But in person it didn't look that bad. I just looked in the mirror and I was pleasantly surprised and actually pretty happy with what I saw. My skin doesn't look kind of like an oil slick or anything like that. I will say the foundation did rub off completely on my nose and up here, and that's because I'm sick and I've been blowing my nose. So if any foundation could last through that, like, let me know what the hell that is. But it's kind of to be expected when you are sick, and you know that nose area just from blowing your nose with tissues, etc. So my face doesn't feel like heavy or gross or like as if it's caked on. At one point I forgot that I was wearing foundation, which is always a good sign. So I do like this. I will say it's probably more of like an everyday foundation versus something that I would use to like go out at night, or if I'm looking for something with less coverage, kind of like on those no makeup days, where I want a little bit of coverage but not anything too OD or full coverage. This is probably where I will use this foundation, or that is probably when I will use that foundation. Regarding the setting spray, I will insert a photo of what it looked like with flash. I am not a fan. Sorry about the noise. My radiator is going off. It's cold. And I live in an old school apartment. So yeah, the setting powder did not do it for me. The setting spray, I can't say that my makeup lasted longer because of it, because again, I am pretty oily and shiny. When it comes to setting sprays, my holy grail is the Model in a Bottle, because my makeup lasts all day long and it is flawless. For the setting powder, I'm just going to stick with my Laura Mercier translucent powder. That one I've never had any issues, and with this one, unfortunately, if you're going to be around flash photography and if you are deeper skin, you might have an issue. Now, I don't know if people with fair skin have that same issue of like flashback. I would assume so, but probably much less to the degree that I had it. I can try using that that settings powder just pretty lightly all over instead of like baking or like packing it on like I did. I'm not sure if that's what the issue was, but regardless, seeing that just makes me want to run back to my Laura Mercier. I give it 2 thumbs up. I would recommend it moving forward to anyone. I'm not recommending that powder. I'm so upset about that. Anyways, thank you guys again so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out for new videos every week, and until next time, bye!